Hi, Jez here from nigezza.co.uk, and I'm here to bring you a project using the abstract expressions and impressions, sorry, and the springtime impressions matching die set. Now, you may have seen my unboxing, and I said that this was going to be the first thing I play with, and it was. So I've made this, so we're going to recreate this, maybe slightly differently. This is what I played with straight away. There's a few wonky mistakes in it, so we're going to do this again. And you're gonna watch me. Okay, so I'm using a whole piece of faux vanilla for this. So I'm going to cut it into a card base size, so just slice it in half. I'm doing this the other way, not the this one I did it so it folded that way. I'm going to do it the other way this time, and then I'm just going to score this in half. Fold it up there, and I'll give that a good burnish when I locate my bone folder. Right, so I'm just going to cut this just a smidge, like a 1/16. No, between a 1/16 and the actual, so like a 32th. Just taking the smallest smidge off this to go. That one has already got the smallest smidge because that will be stuck on the inside of that card, but I want it to be more or less the same size, but obviously you've got to allow for the bending over. This one I'm going to cut it 1/4 of an inch shorter and thinner, so that it's got an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around, because that's going to be the mat on the inside. And I'm going to put that to one side so that I don't get the two of them muddled up. Okay, so what I did was I cut this out and then I sat it back in, which is why I need the backing on the back. The die fits your card front almost perfectly. Okay, so these are UK sizes. Now American size cardstock is 8.5 wide, ours is 8.25, so yours will fit with a bit of a border around, whereas ours, it just fits in sort of perfectly. Okay, so I'm going to cut that out, and I'm going to cut a flower out of I did the other one in Blackberry Bliss, and I'm going to do it in Blackberry Bliss again because I love it. Okay, so I'll just cut those out and bring it back. Okay, so I've cut those out, so I've got a nice little flower there, and I've cut, just putting that back, and I've cut this out here, so this should pull out of there quite nicely, and then there we are. So that's them all poked out. So what we need to do is stick this to the back of the card so that I can stick it back in. So what I did was I got a bit of Tombow and I went round the edges of where they're cut, because we want these bits to stick down. That was flowing. Why has it stopped? Oh, Oh, it's flowing too much on that bit. Typical. So I'm just going around all the edge. And then just round the edge of the card. Some of these bits will ooze if I don't spread it a bit. There we go. And then just going to lay this on top. Bit of wiggle so that it doesn't go over the edge of the card. So we end up with that. There's a bit sticky there, but that'll come off in a minute. So all these ends are stuck down nicely. So now these are quite big, these edges, so it's quite easy to put blobs of glue in places because they're not too fine. Oh, bit I hadn't knocked out there. So you can just dot this around. Might speed this bit up as well. Do you know, it's still a lovely sunny day and it's about 6:30 at night. It's probably the nicest it's been all day, to be fair. And I've just been out to the post. And it was like, oh, it's a lovely day. Didn't need a jacket. There we are. Oops. So then I will carefully place these back in. Where they came out. There we are. So I'm just gonna stick that and that's it, all stuck in there quite nicely. I'm gonna get a block. There we go. I'll stick a block on there just to weight it down a sec. Okay, whilst I get my stamps ready. So, okay, now I'm going to do this one as a thank you card because it's that time of the month where I start thinking about thank yous. I'm going to stick with the same colour scheme because I really like that. So it's Blackberry Bliss and Smoky Slate. You will notice that my Blackberry Bliss is in the old style. That's because this is the Blackberry Bliss that we had years ago when it was an in colour. I've never noticed that it had in colour written on it before, and I kept it because it was my favourite, so there is no point in me buying a new one because that one works. Okay, so I'm gonna do the sentiment first, so I kind of know where that is. I liked this one kind because it was big, and I wanted to fill space, but when I just thought, oh, I can do butterflies, I thought, oh well, it doesn't need to be that big. I can just stamp mat. I brought my stamp mat over because although this is quite thick, I want to be sure. So let's match that up on the line there, and I'm going to put thank you across there. I actually should have mounted this on a smaller block, but there we go. So that's me thank you. I'm going to clean it off quickly so that it doesn't stain so much, but as inevitable it will stain. I did try and do that trick where you stamp in Versamark first. Yeah, it didn't really work, did it? Not really. Maybe it would have been worse. Who knows? Right, so I'm going to stick a butterfly there, and I'm going to have a butterfly there, sniffing that flower like I did before. Okay, and then we're going to do some stamping off. So I've got a card from when I did some watercolouring, paper rather. So this one is second generation, so I'm going to stamp off and then stamp on, and it means that these butterfly wings are not symmetrical, so they're opposite, but I actually don't think it matters because of the well, that was just going to be different, isn't it? I forgot. So this one full on, and then I'll stamp off for this one, so we're doing something a little bit different. Yeah, I quite like that. And then for this big one I'm going to put this on as well, so stamp off once, twice, three times for that. And then sticking on the flower, I'm just going to close these a sec. On this one I kind of covered the flower there, but then when I put it on I thought I'd probably prefer it if it was next to it. So they don't, I did think that they were going to match perfectly, but they don't quite. Almost, but not quite. So I actually think I'm going to put the flower next to the butterfly as opposed to far away. That's what I reckon. So just a little bit Tombow on that. Oh, I'm going to put that on the back of my hand. It's a bit more delicate. My hands are sticky. There we go. So that's the front of the card. So now I just want to go in the centre of the card, which I did here. So I don't really want to do thank you again. I want to do a different sentiment. Hang on. Yeah, because I was just thinking, if this is going to be a customer thank you, you don't really want thank you again, do you? I didn't think any of the others were quite the expressions I wanted. So I've just put, "You are simply the best," which I think my customers simply are the best. Okay, so I'm gonna ink that up, stick that in the middle. Beautiful. And then I'm just going to clean this off. Then we're going to do some butterflies around this. So I need a smoky slate for the centre of my butterfly. And we'll have one coming in. I'll have one going that way. And I'll have one on the side of the sentiment. I love these butterflies. I've absolutely fallen completely for these butterflies. Managing to get a bit of ink. On that. And then I've managed to I was worried I had ink on the back of my finger. I didn't. And then this one, once, twice, 3 times a lady. Oh, there we go. Super duper. Think that's just stunning, and I think I would probably do this on the envelope as well. Okay, so just going to do a little bit of, yeah, we'll go to Tombow. I was going to do something else. I was going to do snail, but I'm going to stick Tombow on. I've got a bit wigglage. I know I could have done this straight on the card, but if I was going to do that, I'd have used extra thick, and I wasn't sure how extra thick would react to being die cut. So, and I feel that our standard cardstock needs a little bit of extra. So there we have it. A very simple yet elegant card. Love that set. This is going to be possibly my replacement for butterfly bracelets that are like that. I love it. How wonderful. You look at that and then go, ooh, well, that inside's almost nicer than the outside. Okay, all the details will be on my blog, nigezza.co.uk. You can link down below straight to my blog, link to my shops if you want to get your hands on this absolutely gorgeous set. So, and if you buy the two together in a bundle, you get 10% off. And I'm going to be making some wedding invites now. How beautiful would they be for a wedding? Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so see you again soon.